Hi everyone, I'd like to welcome you all to today's webinar where we will walk through some of the best ways we see our nonprofit and higher ed clients use RelSci in their daily workflow. My name is Alexandra Baer and I'm on the marketing team here at Relationship Science, and I'm joined by my colleague on our client development team, Ashley McNeil, and my colleague on the marketing team, Chelsea Briggs. Today's presentation will last approximately 20 minutes, and throughout the presentation, if you have any questions, feel free to submit them through the chat question feature located within GoToWebinar. We'll save some time at the end for us to go through any of your questions. So now let's get started. So we want to make sure that our clients are getting the most out of RelSci and fully leveraging the platform's capabilities for your organization's fundraising efforts. Whether you're a cause-based organization or a higher ed institution, there are a number of ways that you can get value out of RelSci. We're going to go through some of the top ways we see our clients use RelSci on a day-to-day basis, but we'll first start with a quick run-through of how to properly set up your account. So now I'm going to go into the platform and get started. So I'm sure many of you, some of you have been clients for a while with us, and then some of you are newer clients, so this may resonate more with some of our newer clients, but when you initially sign on as a client, we work with you on how to best set up your account. And we'll talk through with you what types of people within your organization or that are affiliated with your organization that you really want to leverage in order to be able to get warm introductions to potential donors of yours. And so this is just something that, if you haven't done so already, it's something to really work with your account management team on, because they can really make sure that you structure your account in the right way. So things to think about, like, are you looking to leverage your board members? Are you looking to leverage your trustees, your alumni, your current donors? And basically this is all done through the relationship management section within your account. And so I just wanted to quickly just point this out to you so you know where it is, you know that it exists. At any time you want to add more people to your network that you have in here, you can just click Add More Relationships. And we have different ways that you can go in and add people to the system that you know. And you can always go in here and review the people. So sometimes we hear people say, like, I uploaded a big list of people, and there's some people on the list that I really don't know that well, and I would never feel comfortable reaching out to them for a warm introduction. Like, I briefly met them one time at a conference. That's no problem. When you go through this list and you see those types of people, you can quickly remove them by just hovering over their name and clicking Remove. And one other thing I just wanted to point out as well is that you can also, turn on alerts for these people, and I can go into 360 alerts more in a second, but basically 360 alerts is our news and alerting service that basically lets you know when there's any type of press announcement, somebody that you know is in the news. You basically get a daily email to your inbox that has all those alerts just consolidated into one email, and it's just a great way to stay on top of what's going on with the people that you care about. And then one other thing that I just wanted to quickly run through, since we'll be talking about this as we go through kind of the three main ways we see you use RelSci, is our list functionality. So list is something that we see our nonprofit and higher ed clients use on a very regular basis. And basically what it allows you to do is create lists either within the RelSci platform or upload lists of existing people that you have to RelSci and be able to leverage them throughout the platform. So if you have a list of your board members that you want to upload into the platform, or a list of your 2015 donors, or maybe you want to upload a list of your top donors from 2014 because you're looking to leverage those people because you formed good relationships with them to get to people in 2015. Whatever those different populations of people are that you have, you can always upload those people as lists into here. All you need to do is have them in a CSV file, and then you upload them, you name the list, you save it in here. And when you create a list, you can always turn on 360 alerts for them. So that's that news and alerting service I was just talking about. And basically, when you do that, you'll start getting alerts on the people on that list. And, that'll just make sure that you are as up to date as anybody on what's going on with these people. So that's just a couple just quick hits on just initial setup of your account. Like I said, if you're newer and like really trying to make sure that you're doing it the right way, work with your account management team on it. Or if you've been a client for a while and want to take a look back at how you initially set up your platform with your account manager, feel free to do that as well. Okay, so once you've done all of that, you can really start leveraging the RelSci platform for all it has to offer. The first thing I'm going to go through with you is when you're trying to do research and due diligence on the people that you care about. So let's say that you are trying to look up a potential donor of yours. So as you know, we have 3.5 million people profiled within the Relationship Science platform, and we have the million organizations and companies they're affiliated with profiled as well. So I'm going to look up somebody named Sam Zell. And one thing I will note real quick before I do a deep dive into his profile is that if you are looking somebody up and there either isn't a lot of information on them or you can't find their profile, click this RelSci services right here, and this will allow you basically to let our research team know that you need more information or that somebody doesn't exist. And they'll basically do what they can to be able to look through all the different sources that they have to be able to either update that profile or create a new one, and they'll let you know if they're able to do it or not. But I just wanted to point that out real quick in case that is something that comes up for you. So if you've never been to a profile before, profiles basically provide key data points on who the individual is, what they're involved with, and who they know. So I'm going to quickly run through it and just high level, so name at the top, current employment, or most recent employment. If this is somebody that you happen to know, you're always able to one-off add people to your relationship web. You can add this person to a list. So if you stumble upon this person and this is somebody that you want to add to your 2015 donor list, you can do that here. You can run a report on them. So basically running the report allows you to be able to print it off. So if you're somebody that's doing research on behalf of somebody else and you want to be able to just print this off and hand it to somebody, very easy to do that. And then you can also follow them. So following basically equates to getting alerts from our 360 alerts on them. So if it's somebody that you care about, we always suggest just go ahead, turn on 360 alerts for them. So the first section in the profile is 360 alerts. And this is basically the most recent headlines on the individual. And, if you are going to be meeting with somebody, I'm sure you know this, but it's always very helpful just to have as much up-to-date information as you can on that individual. So you're very smart and intelligent when you're talking to them, and you're able to plug in, oh, I recently saw this or I recently saw that. So that's that section, and you can scroll through and just see all the different recent headlines on him. So the next sections go into kind of our relationship mapping and really the bread and butter of RelSci, and this is you seeing it kind of from the individual profile perspective. So this is all about, okay, I'm looking at Sam Zell. How am I able to get in front of him? He's somebody I don't know yet, but I want to see how people that I know are connected to him. So this first section, I've got 2 common relationships with him. So this basically means that people that I've said that I know, people that are in my relationship lab that I've built, they're potentially connected to him. And how we basically determine connectedness is basically, you'll see in a second when I go through the deep dive into his profile, but we get a lot of information on people, and through all that information that we have, we're able to bubble up commonalities between people. So that could be people that sit on the same board, used to work at the same company, currently work at the same company, and we basically show this information whenever we think that there's somebody that you might know in common. And so for here, you're basically saying, okay, I've said I know Harry, and Harry is connected to Sam, we believe, through the United States Skiing Foundation. And so I'll always show the reason why we think they're connected, and then we always show a likelihood straight. So basically our algorithm will look at how they're connected, and then they'll look at stuff like board overlap, like how long they're on the same board, how long they're at the same company, the size of the board, the size of the company, seniority. All those different factors basically play into this algorithm, and we will rate it. And you'll see more of this because we do this coloring within Pathfinder, but that's basically what this is. And then the next section is basically colleague shortest path. And when you think about this, this is basically saying, okay, maybe one of my, my executive director that sits down for me, they've gone in and they've tagged people that they know in the system. And so let's say Mike is an executive director at my organization. I can see here that he's actually said that he knows Sam. So, wow, that's a great thing to know, and kind of makes my life a lot easier that he might know him. So both of these right here will direct you straight into Pathfinder. So I'll go through Pathfinder in a second, but just want to quickly highlight that. So the next section is the relationship summary, and this is basically showing all the people that are in RelSci that we believe Sam might have access to, and for all these people, you can see why we think that there's overlap, and then you can go in here and see all the different people in here. And one other thing, I just saw this, but this is interesting. So, for example, here we show that Gerald is actually a personal friend of Sam, and this is basically something that we would have picked up in the research that we've done, basically saying, like, okay, they're actually friends with each other. So good things to know about. And then just going down, I'm just going to quickly skim through here so you can see the types of information that you're able to pull up on people. So we have information on their family, where they went to school, membership, interests and affiliations. This one's interesting, and it's something that's good to know if, let's say, you're talking about doing a ski trip. Just interesting things to bring up when you go meet with them. These are things that we picked up when we've done research on these people. So we've got their career history, boards and committees that serve on, nonprofits affiliated with, and then donation history. So we pull all this information and basically allows you to be able to see what they've done, and then public holdings, awards and honors they've received, and then lasting events. So this is just all important information, and I'm sure you might have like other places that you're getting information from as well, but this is definitely a place that you want to go to be able to get some more information on them and really understand like how you're connected, or how or what people they might be able to connect you to. So that's the profile of somebody. Next thing I'm going to go into, and this is very heavily used by our nonprofits as well, is our Pathfinder tool. And if you've never used this before, this is basically a tool that allows you to be able to see how people and organizations are connected to each other. So I'm going to go through two different examples of how we've seen our cause-based as well as higher ed institutions really use the tool. The first one I'm going to show you is basically, let's say you uploaded a list of your top prospects. So I'm just going to type in top prospects here, the list we already have in here, and I want to see how my organization is connected to my prospects. So what this is basically doing is pulling up all the different ways that people within my organization here on the left-hand side are connected to people on my list. And I can go through here and see that some of my colleagues actually have direct connections. They've said that they know people that are on my list. And I can filter this, I can sort this, I can group it. There's some tips and tricks that you can use for really trying to like drill down on this list. And I'm not going to go into the specifics of that today. So if you really want to like learn more about kind of how to like get even more like, like filtered on this list, definitely reach out to your account manager and they can show you how to do that. But basically, as I go down, I will start to see, okay, my strongest connections are at the top, and then you'll start to see that here are some ones that have more of a jump to it. So my colleague Stanley says he knows Hamilton. Hamilton is potentially connected to John because of all these different ways, and there's a strong likelihood that they know each other. And so you could think of Stanley, somebody on your board, and Stanley knows Hamilton, Evans, James, and then this person is connected to John. So these are just all like good pieces of information for you when really trying to determine what your best access point is when you're trying to do all your relationship mapping. And this also will just help you prioritize, how you might think about your prospecting for this year, and who it is that might be able to connect you to what people on your list and how you can leverage those people. So that is one example of Pathfinder, and I'm just going to show you another one that we see with our higher ed clients is basically how to leverage your board members to be able to get in front of your prospects. So I'm just going to show this. So let's say we want to get our board members to get us in front of some of our alumni. So here we have a list of our board members, so we've already created within the system, and then we have a list of our alumni that we've already created. And so basically this is now going through all the different ways that my board members are connected to people on my alumni list. And so I can go through here, and again, it's the same type of thing. I can see how they're connected to each other. And if I wanted to run a report on this, I could do that just clicking this, and this basically allows you to be able to create a PDF of it. And when you create a PDF, you can print it off, bring it to your next meeting, bring it to, let's say you were doing, board members to your alumni, and you wanted to bring this to your next meeting with the board. This could be a really helpful thing just to show them like all the different ways that they're connected to people. So last tool that I'm going to go through is Power Search, and Power Search basically is a way to be able to query the entire database that we have. And so when you're trying to either kind of like narrow down a list that you might have, or you're trying to build a new list, Power Search is where you go to do that. So I'm going to go through 2 examples here as well of how we see people using Power Search. First one is kind of drilling down on a list. Sometimes we'll see our clients upload a big list of people into the system, and then they don't know exactly how to like narrow it down. So Power Search can help you do that. So let's say I'm planning a upcoming event at my university, and I want to be able to only invite people that are within the LA area. So what I would do here is, let's say I have this list called Higher Ed Target Donors, and I'm looking for people that are based in Los Angeles. So basically what this will do is this will look for people that appear on this list right here that are located in LA. And when I click search, I'm now basically presented with 143 people that are on that list. And so these are people that I could potentially invite to my event. And I can go through here, and we're always throughout the platform trying to show you kind of like how you're connected to people. And so you can quickly see here and just, oh, wow, this is how I'm connected to Charles. And if I click into see all, it takes you straight into the Pathfinder tool. And then you have these different filters here. So of the 143 people, I'm actually connected to 1 of them. My colleagues are connected to 9 of them. And then my extended network, basically meaning somebody I know knows somebody on this list. So that's kind of what you're able to do. And you can always sort. You can save this list. You can create a new list. So let's say, I have my like big, massive list of my higher ed target donors, and then I want to create like sub lists. Well, I could name this list my, I could have added them to an existing list, or I could say my like LA higher ed event invite list. I could just say that, and you turn 360 alerts on this for them as well. Okay, that's one example. And then the other example I wanted to show you is actually just using criteria within here and trying to create a list straight from Power Search. So this is really helpful when you are trying to like find more people that you might want to add to your list of prospects. I know that you probably have your list already, and it's probably like a really nice list, but there's always the potential for people out there that might be a good fit for donating to your cause that you don't even know that they might be. So if you want to try to find those people, you can go in here and look at there's education. So if you want to find people that went to Yale that graduated within a certain period of time, you can do that. But I'm just going to show for the sake of this, let's say I'm looking for people that have donated to the cause Performing Arts and that have given over $5,000. So what this is basically doing is looking in RelSci and trying to find people that have given to Performing Arts for over $5,000. And so there's over 1,200 people. And of course, I could narrow this list down even more. If I was only looking for people in the New York area, I could apply that criteria. And basically, when you come up with the search results, you can see why they appear on this list. So like Charles donated to the Music Center, which is classified as performing arts. One donation for 10 to 25K back in 2007. And so you can see just through here, you know, again, 19 people that I know are on this list. My colleagues are connected to 75 of them, and then my extended network is connected to 626 of them, sorry. And so you can always, again, create a new list based on these people. So hopefully this has been helpful for you. I know it's a little high level, and we just wanted to quickly show you how we really see our nonprofit and higher ed clients like really taking advantage of the platform on a daily basis, and we'll definitely be doing more webinars over the next few months, really focused on, you know, like nonprofit higher ed clients. And so definitely when we send out our follow-up with a recording of the webinar, we'll include a survey in it. We'd love to hear any topics that you have that you'd love us to do webinars on. And if you have any feedback, definitely let us know as well. I'm now going to pass this over to Chelsea and Ashley, and they are going to answer your questions.
Great. Thanks, Alexandra. So the first question we have is, do your list show up as your relationships? For example, if we uploaded a list of 10,000 plus alumni, it's not going to water down our relationships. Is this correct?
That is correct. So typically whenever you're doing any kind of search, it's only going to leverage your My Relationships. So these are the people that you know and you told the system that you know. It does keep your alumni list separate. So whenever you're doing a Pathfinder, you would have to specifically load in that list to see those connections. Typically, it's just going to leverage your connections.
Great. Next question. You may have mentioned earlier, but can you add constituents to an already created list?
Great question. So yes. So in here, you can always, if you add a person to a list, let's just say Henry Kravis, and pulling up any profile here is where you can add someone to an existing list that you already have created. So you can just pick and choose which list you want to add this individual to. Once you click it, you'll see the check mark, and then you'll hit save. And then along those same lines, you can also edit people off. So maybe someone was a prospect and they became a donor, so now you want to remove that person off of your prospect list. If you open up your list, you can also click into the list, hit the edit button, edit list details. Oops, sorry, the other one. Edit items, and then remove any individual that you no longer want on a particular list.
Okay, next question. Where does colleagues pull from? Is that a list we import, or are they people in our community?
Great question. So your colleagues are going to be the individuals set up at your organization who have input their contacts. So for example, here I've loaded my contacts, Chelsea has loaded in her contacts, and Alexandra has loaded in hers. So we're all sharing because we're all here at RelSci, and they would be considered my colleagues whenever their relationships are showing up within RelSci.
Okay, next question. Can you add a colleague to your relationship?
Absolutely. Oh, so no, your colleagues are actually already going to be showing up in your searches, but if someone is part of an organization and you wanted to add them to your tagged relationships, absolutely. So someone that I already know is set up as my would be to probably have your account management team help with this. But essentially what you could do is export that contact list out and then we can load it into your tagged My Relationship.
All right, I think that's it for questions.
Okay, great. Well, thanks everyone for attending today. We really appreciate your questions. If for some reason we didn't get to one of them, we'll definitely follow up with you afterwards, but please be on the lookout for an email from us, and hope you can attend our next webinar that we do. Have a great day.